trying to place me in this box. He was making this judgment about me based on what his vision of what people with disabilities are supposed to be. So the reason why I share these stories with you guys is because when we talk about becoming advocates on our campus, we focus so much on other people's stories that we overlook our own. And if we don't know our own story, how can we help people speak theirs if we haven't spoken ours yet? You see, guys, throughout your life, that journey of uncovering who you are and uncovering your story and letting people hear your story never ends. It never should end. We are constantly the authors of our own book. And what I'm saying to you right now is, as you move forward, like I said, you're going to have so many people that are going to come from all angles and try and grab at it. But at the end of the day, you determine what gets written in it, and who writes in it, and how it's written. I want to share with you another aspect of who I am, that when I roll into a room, you can't see. You know, when people see me roll into a room, they'll immediately make judgments about me. Because I like to say, whenever I enter into a new space with people I don't know, my chair enters the room first, and then I enter the room. And I need to prove to people that I'm not a chair with a person in it, I'm a person in a chair. But there's another aspect of who I am that every time I enter in a space, people can't see. About 2 years ago, this May actually, can't believe it's been that long, I dropped a song on YouTube, harmless plug, look it up, great music. In which I came out as gay. Talk about a 1-2 punch. Then you had people immediately, as soon as I hit upload, and I saw public, and it had been done. My phone did not stop going off for the next 48 hours. I was lucky to have a lot of support. There were a lot of people that, you know, chimed in and said some not so nice things. But in that moment, I had to take myself back and look at the analogy, the initial analogy that I gave you guys. I had to remember that I need to take my book back. All these people were grabbing at it. They were trying to grab at it. They were saying, wait a second. You're in a wheelchair. And now you're saying you're gay? You're not even supposed to have a sexuality to begin with. And wait a second. There's no way you could be gay. You coached baseball for 6 years. So, once again, you see people trying to fit me into this box of what they think it means to be a certain thing. And what we need to realize as individuals, I share my own story. It might connect with some of you might share. But all of our stories are unique. And I'm sitting up here and I'm telling you guys to be vulnerable with yourselves. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. But if you want to bring your campus together, you have to bring yourself together. If you want to make your campus as open as possible, you have to be open with yourself. Because where you are in here and where you are in here resonates out into everything that you do. Everything that you do.
Right here.
If you guys met me when I was 16 and still buried under a pile of clothes in the closet, picking out my outfit for when I did come out, you would have met a very different John. You would have met a John that wouldn't be having this conversation with you. You would have met a John that came into the room, smiled, and then left and cried. Because I was so focused on uplifting others. I was so focused on bringing the best out of others that I hadn't stopped to bring the best out of me. I hadn't stopped to bring the best out of me. I hadn't stopped to let myself get to know myself. I hadn't stopped to let myself know that I was valid. I was so focused on letting other people know that I was valid. Never gave myself a moment. I was at a place in my life where I don't want to say I ever wanted to kill myself, but I had an immense fear that I was going to. I couldn't cross over bridges. I had to keep my head down because every time I put my head up, I just saw this vision of me jumping off the bridge. I wouldn't wash the dishes because I didn't trust myself around any sharp objects or anything. And when I would look in the mirror in the morning, I would see myself in my wheelchair or my walker, and I would say, why? Why me? Because underneath that wheelchair, underneath that walker, I also saw the silence that was killing me. For 10 years, I couldn't tell people. I didn't feel comfortable telling anyone that I was gay as well. 10 years. I knew when I was 11. I came out 2 days before my 21st birthday. And that's when I realized. I used to say to myself, John, there's so many other people out there that have it worse than you. You just have to buck up and be happy. What was that doing for me? Wasn't doing anything. Yes, I was uplifting others, but that didn't last for too long. Because you can only uplift others or bring people together for so long and not uplift yourself before that all crumbles. So what I needed to realize, and what I eventually did realize, is that I need to validate myself. Whatever hurts me, and that's okay. Whatever makes me happy, and that's okay. And yes, it is okay. It is a fact that other people have it worse than me. But never should I use that as a basis to invalidate my own experience. We can simultaneously acknowledge that somebody out there has it worse than us, while not invalidating ourselves. So when I started this journey, I challenged myself. I got a journal, and I started doing an entry every morning, every night. And this was when I got linked up, with some counselors that helped me get through everything. And I realized that, guys, there are two things in life that are the hardest to gain and the quickest to lose. And that's self-awareness and perspective. Those are the two major keys, as TJ Collins says, to life. Self-awareness and perspective. Because like I said earlier, where you are at here resonates out into everything that you do. So, if you do a journal entry every morning, every night, what does it do? It keeps track of what's going on up here, right? It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I choose to write poems and songs. It could be something as simple as, man, I'm not feeling this meeting today, in the morning. And then at night saying, yeah, the dining hall food wasn't that bad. There was no bones in the chicken. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it keeps yourself in check up here. Because guys, I'm gonna give you another phrase that I've kind of coined throughout my life is, we focus so much on becoming that we don't stop to be. We focus so much on, oh, I need to be more like him or more like her, or I need to be more this, more that. No. What you need to do is stop that sentence at be. You need to be. You need to be, and that's all. That's all. I want to give you guys another analogy. I'm full of them. By a show of hands, how many of you have ever put a puzzle together? All right. Now, if a piece is missing from that puzzle, can you complete it? No, right? So what's left in that puzzle? If a piece is missing, right? A hole, right? So, look around this room. Every single one of you in this room is your own puzzle piece. You bring your own shape, your own size, and all the colors on top. Those are all aspects of your identity. Every single person out there in this hotel, every single person out there in the world is their own puzzle piece. And if your shape was different, you wouldn't fit in the puzzle, right? If your size was different, you wouldn't fit in the puzzle, right? If any of the colors on top, you would still fit in the puzzle, but the picture wouldn't look right, right? Now, here's the kicker. If you, as a full physical being, were not here, what would be in that puzzle? A hole. And that hole can never be replaced by anyone else on this earth but you. That is your value. That is something, sadly, that this world is not going to tell you. You have to be the first person to validate that for yourself every single morning. Every single day. Because you are valid. And if you want to help other people see their validity, you need to understand yours. You need to understand your weight. You need to understand why you deserve to be loved. To show somebody else that they deserve to be loved and uplifted. I didn't have a lot of that. I spent a lot of my life trying to run from it. Trying to convince myself that I knew it all and that I didn't need to get to know myself. I essentially was placing myself in that box that I was telling you that everybody else was